Good morning. Yes, I am wearing a Minnie Mouse shirt. It was cold last night. It's warm. I wasn't planning on making a video today. Anyway, I just wanted to share a story with y'all. So with it coming up Christmas and all, I've been Christmas shopping and I got this collage frame, like pretty big collage frame for someone, and I was going to wrap it, and I leaned over it to like grab my scissors or tape or something, and I put my knee on it and I busted it. And it was so crazy. Like, usually that would have made me really mad, but I didn't get mad in it. I just kind of like was like, alright, like, I'm not sure why this busted, but I was really just praying. I was like, God, use it in some way. And so, you know, I had got a little bit of money, like dog sitting and stuff, just for Christmas. Like, that was my Christmas money, and after that it was pretty much gone. Like, the rest was bill money. And so I was like, God, like, this frame was already kind of expensive, and I know that at Hobby Lobby, like, the glass that I needed just for like an 8x10 was like $30. So I was like, there's no telling how much this is going to be, but I was like, I know it'll work out. I'm not worried about it. Whatever. I went on. Well, I went to work, and someone that I work with was telling me, I told him about it, and he was like, well, just go to Lowe's or like Home Depot or something, get you some plexiglass. It's way cheaper, and it, you know, it's better anyway. It doesn't scratch, it won't break, you know. And so I was like, all right, that's a great idea. Like, you know, God's already working through this. It's going to be cheaper, and I was happy about it. And so I went to Lowe's, and they didn't have what I needed. So I was going to try to go to like the Lowe's down the road after that, but I didn't have enough time. I had to go back to work. So I waited, and I went the next day. And I go, and I get the plexiglass, and he like cut me a piece of scrap that was, he wrote the price on there. It was like $1.50. Okay, so that's not even the biggest part. But he cut me a piece of scrap, and he put the price on there, and he put like the code for the girl at the register to look up, and I took it to her, and she looks it up, and she was like, well, I see it on here. She was like, but it's coming up as $0. She's like, so I'm just gonna give it to you for free. I was like, okay, that works with me. And so anyway, that was just awesome. And then she told me that she asked me what I was wearing, and she told me it smelled good, and I was wearing Pleasures by Estee Lauder. And whenever she said that, the thought that came to my mind right then was that the first year that I worked at the job that I'm at now, so I guess it was 2 years ago, this woman came in, and she smelled really good, and so I told her, and she was wearing Pleasures, and so I didn't know this woman, and she came in a few days, weeks later, I don't know what it was, and she brought it for me for Christmas. And so I was like, oh, you know, that's sweet. And so, you know, I had been asking God to use the broken frame in some way, and so as soon as she said that, that's exactly what I thought about. And I left, and I had a little while before I had to be at work, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get that for her. And so I went and got it, and I brought it back to her, and I was like so nervous. Like, I didn't want her to think like I was some weirdo like randomly buying her perfume. But anyway, so I brought it to her, and I was like, you know, I hope you don't think I'm weird for this. I was like, and I told her the story about the frame and how it broke, and how I was asking God to use it in some way. And then I told her, I was like, you know, and then you gave me the frame for free. I was like, so and then she told me I smelled good, so I was like, you know, I just had to get that for her. And then the woman that was standing beside her like almost started crying. So I was like, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I knew that there was something like deeper in that. And so she was like, she's like, I had an accident this morning. She actually like hit a guy, like not in a car, like a pedestrian. And anyway, she started out the story. She was like, so I pray every morning, and it was just awesome even hearing that someone else, you know, believes in Jesus and loves Jesus and prays, and you know, we're not as few as we think we are. But anyway, so she didn't tell me the whole story. It didn't all like completely make sense, but she said that she had lost her faith for a little bit, and you know, in that accident that she had, God spoke to her in some way. And so like I said, she didn't tell me everything, but don't you know that me going and getting that for her, because God laid that on my heart, had to like overwhelm her with God's love, that he would even, you know, like really strengthen her faith like that, for some random stranger to go and buy her some perfume for Christmas. And it all happened over a broken frame that I could have got so mad about and like freaked out. But my point in all this, what I've seen, is that I was so glad whenever I was on my way to work after taking that to her, that God let the frame break. So it's like in James, where he talks about being, you know, I can't remember what it says, but it's talking about being happy that you go through trials and like diverse temptations and all this, because God is doing something through it. And I was so, that frame means so much more to me now than it would have if it wouldn't have broken, and if it would have just kept the glass, you know. So now I'm going to give it to that person. I'm going to see it a lot. And so it's like I can look at that and just see what God did. And so if you are broken today, God lets you break. It reminds me of that song, Gracefully Broken. It's because he's going to do something through it, and you are going to come out, and the story is going to be so much better and so much more beautiful than it would have ever been if you would have just stayed whole and pretty and perfect and completely unscathed. Like, God is going to do something through it. He's going to bring a story out of it, and he's going to bring glory to your name if you will just look at it as he sees it and trust him and know that he's going to do something through it. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. I look back and I'm so surprised that I didn't get mad. There was so much grace in that situation, like that it broke and I didn't get mad. And then even when I went to Lowe's the first time and they didn't have it, I was like so happy and like just joyful in that Lowe's, and like it was just weird. And then whenever it broke, it even broke on the wrapping paper, so it wasn't all over my floor. I didn't have glass all over my floor. God will just really give you grace when you need it. And I just encourage you to go look up that song, Gracefully Broken. But just know that if you will let him, God will do something so big through your brokenness. It was a small, tiny little thing, and he used it because I asked him to. I was like, God, just please just do something. I don't know what you could do through this stupid broken glass, but God can do so much more than we could ever even imagine. So I hope this encourages someone today. Just if you're broken, to give it to him, let him use it. I had no idea he was going to do that, but he's just that good and that awesome that he already had all that planned out. So just trust him, know that he's doing something good, be thankful for your brokenness. It's going to turn into something beautiful. I hope y'all have a good day.